Thank you all for joining, and welcome to the Clean NGSS and Three-Dimensional Instruction webinar. We have an awesome presenter today, Cheryl Manning, who's a science teacher and longtime member of the Clean Network. She's going to be presenting today on this topic, and I will let her take it away in just a minute, but I wanted to let you all know that she will be taking questions. And if you have any questions for Cheryl, you can type them into the chat. I'll help her manage that. So there's the chat feature. I think it's usually at the bottom of Zoom. And then we also have the Q&A feature. I'll be managing both of those. We'll probably save most questions for the end, unless there's just a clarifying question that comes up. I might interrupt Cheryl. So with that, I will let Cheryl get started. Thanks, Cheryl.
All right, thank you. Hi, and welcome everyone. I'd like to start by thanking our sponsors, the National Science Foundation, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, Department of Energy, along with Turk, CERC, and Ceres, who are managing this project and have been for a long time. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So our objectives today include demonstrating how the clean collection of resources are congruent with the next generation science standards and how they support three-dimensional instruction. Clean is easily searchable in a variety of ways, and I want to show you how to do that and how it can be used to support effective teaching of both climate and energy. So the front page of cleannet.org is laid out to provide a lot of different direction to a variety of resources available. And we're going to be looking today at the collection, so the collection of resources that we can use in our teaching every day. So thanks to the tireless work of our partners, each of the clean resources have been tagged to best identify how it connects to the next generation science standards, or NGSS. We call this process alignment. And by aligning these different resources, we're able to see how climate and energy topics can be integrated into lots of different science discipline. They lend themselves very nicely to NGSS, which really encourages teachers to bring the different discipline areas together in ways that are more relevant to students. So each of the resources have been vetted carefully by scientists and educators to ensure that they are pedagogically appropriate and scientifically correct. Then they're tagged for alignment within the NGSS and entered into a searchable database. There's over 700 resources, or around 700 resources, and these are available to us in a variety of different search techniques that I'm going to show you today. So in our three-dimensional instruction, we want to make sure that we're at a variety of, we want to make sure we're looking for the right thing for the right job. So we're going to look at how the resources are classified, how to make sure that the things that we're doing are grade level appropriate. We're going to look at some of the alignment to performance expectations, disciplinary core ideas, cross-cutting concepts, along with the science and engineering practices. So there's lots of different ways to search, so let's go ahead and get started with that. We can look at this button here that's circled, the ways to search button. We can also go to this page right here, and there are different, the dark blue tabs through the middle of the screen show the three different ways to do this. We can go by keywords, grade level, and resource type. We can browse through connection of NGSS, and then we can look at some different grade level supports. So let's start by browsing by NGSS. We can use this little button here at the top of the front page, or you can click on this button right here. Either of them will get you to the same place. So when we browse by NGSS, we are brought to this page, which breaks things out into two different large boxes. The upper blue box will get us to topics and resources that will focus on climate and energy, climate systems and climate change. And then the lower green box is looking at climate and energy solutions. So what I thought I would do today is focus in on some of the middle school energy solution for this particular search. So in both of the boxes, in the light blue and the green box, you can see how resources are separated out by middle school and high school. So we can look at that from both of those directions. When we click on that middle school tab, we're brought to this page where everything is broken down by the 3 dimensions along with the performance expectations. So the red box there, disciplinary core ideas, is in orange. The science and engineering practices are in blue, and the cross-cutting concepts are in green. So if we want to start by thinking about what kind of resource we would be interested in, I went ahead and clicked activity, thinking a little bit about what I might want my students to do. This narrows us down to 52 activities, and in the very bottom right above the black cleannet.org tagline, it shows how the activities we've narrowed it down from 700 to 52. So that's a nice sort. So then we want to choose a standard that engages our students, and we can look at a variety of different things. We can think about it from either of the three dimensions, and I decided I'd go ahead and look at it from the perspective of science and engineering practices, applying scientific ideas or principles to construct or test a design. So this is something that is highlighted for middle school students and then elevated again in high school. So students would do this at both levels, but in this particular case, we're focusing in on middle school. Now we're looking, we've got our sort down to 9 different activities that have students constructing or testing a design. Looking at those 9 activities, you can look through each one at a time, or you can read through the summaries and see if one of them is particularly interesting to you. I liked this one, generating electricity, evaluating the sustainability of today's and tomorrow's energy resources. So clicking on that one to learn more, I can also go up and explore the full set of resources within the search interface. So you can do it either way. So that little button at the top is really helpful if you want to stay within the larger search engine within Clean Collection or focus in more on one thing. So each resource, clicking on that resource brings me to this page. And this page includes a description, some notes from the reviewers on teaching tips along with the science and the pedagogy of the resource. Really helpful information to make sure this is going to be the right fit. To get to the activity, you'd click on the link below the title, or you could just jump to the activity by clicking on that as well. All right. So the next way to search the Clean Collection is to go to the NGSS at a glance page, and this has a little different look to it. And it breaks things out again by middle school and high school, and by topic area, things that we might be a little bit more familiar with as teachers, breaking it down by life science, physical science, earth and space science, or engineering, technology, and applications of science within Clean. So these tables help us start by looking at our topic areas. Let's start by looking at a high school level resource that focuses in on some life science content. When you click on that link, it brings you to a page that looks like this, where the performance expectation, disciplinary core ideas are broken out, and then the disciplinary core ideas are further broken down into concept or bullet level ideas. Looking at ecosystem dynamics and functioning and resilience, which is high school life science disciplinary core idea number 2. we can see, let's go ahead and see what we might find within that set of resources. Clicking on that link brings us to a new page where we can see we have 70 matches for this search topic. It also is maintaining all of our research ideas. So everything that we've clicked on so far is highlighted there in the top box under current search limits. So we have 70 different matches. We could scroll down and look at any one of these. But maybe we want to refine the results a bit more. So over on the right side, there are all these different tools that we can use to refine our results. We might want to refine it by resource type or grade level. And then you have the NGSS performance expectations, disciplinary core ideas, cross-cutting concepts, or science and engineering practices. But looking through the list, maybe this one catches your eye, climate change impacts on biodiversity, and we can explore that one a little bit more. So you can, if you take a look at it, this is a video, it's 11 minutes long. You can read through the descriptions, the reviewer's notes, or jump to the video to learn more. The last way to look through the collection is to click on Browse the Collection. Now, this is going to be the broadest type of search that you could do. We can also get to it from this button right here. Okay. So browsing the entire collection lets us, it shows us all, could potentially show us all 700 of these resources. And that's a pretty broad set of things to look at. So one of the things that I like to do when I'm in Clean is I will oftentimes use a keyword search. I know I want to be teaching something around fires. Maybe I want to look at how the role of climate change is affecting wildfires, since wildfires have been on people's minds a lot recently. So typing in that keyword fire brings us from 700 to 16 resources, which is a nice manageable size. Now we can narrow it down using the Refine the Results section on the right side of the web page. Focusing in on science and engineering practices, I might want to have my students asking questions by examining some data. So I hover over that. If you hover over any of those, you'll get a link, you'll find links to the different types of wording for each of those different standards. So let's look at asking questions and defining problems. Using that hover function and reading the descriptions carefully, you can come up with 3 matches. And I wanted to look more carefully at this local climate snapshots. And you'll notice that this is a website that's from California. It's an interactive visualization. You can read more about it through the green box at the top that gives the summary, as well as the notes from the reviewers. At the very bottom of each of these resource pages is a box that looks like this. It has all of the different connections to NGSS. So it has the disciplinary core ideas, the cross-cutting concepts, along with the science and engineering practices. Opening up the resource, we see that it provides a timeline from 1960 and into the future to 2099, looking at how the things have burned in the past, as well as what scientists predict could happen in the future. That particular resource is a really useful one because this can really generate a lot of questions, especially if you give them time to talk about it. In each of these different ways to explore the Clean collection, you might want to take some time to learn it. This has been an award-winning website for a while because it's being constantly updated and worked on. but it does take some time to learn how to play with it. So I encourage everybody to take the time to explore. You can learn more about the climate system and our energy resources, and you can also create your own clean NGSS units. But those are both for future webinars or past webinars. So the Clean and NGSS support 3D instruction by making these much more manageable. Teaching these things, you want to make sure you're using well-vetted resources. Connecting them to the 3 different dimensions helps the teachers use these in a way that they're best intended to use. Clean provides different types of materials and a community that supports teachers, and you're always welcome to reach out to us to get more help if you have questions on how to use these. If you want to become more involved in Clean, use the resources, sign up for the Clean STEM Flash newsletter. You can submit resources to Clean for review. You can also join the Clean network or join some more of the upcoming webinars. I hope you guys have learned some things today, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.